Welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. So it has been a very long time since I last uploaded a YouTube video. I think the last time I uploaded a video was actually in April, I want to say, which is crazy because I've actually really missed uploading on YouTube. However, if you follow me over on my Instagram, you know that I've still been fairly active on that side. I've just been very busy. Life has just been super hectic recently. I started university in September, and so I've just been kind of getting to grips with that and just getting used to the whole university system, and so it's just been very hectic. So I thought I would come back to my YouTube channel with what I know best, and that is a huge book haul. Now this book haul is books that I have collected and accumulated for the last, I'm gonna say for the last 4 or 5 months, and I have been on multiple book sprees. I'm no longer purchasing books, or I'm only buying one rather than 20, and my bank account's actually kind of thanking me for that. But yeah, so I thought I would show you guys all the lovely books that I've collected, and some of them I've read, some of them I haven't, so I will let you guys in on that. I think most of these I haven't read. There's just a series that I have read that I'm going to show you. Other than that, I think they're all unread, and my reviews will be up when I come round to reading them over my Instagram, which I will link in the description box down below so you guys can go check it out. And also, if you're new to my channel, then hi, my name is Luce. I would love for you guys to join me by clicking the subscribe button just down here, and also turning on the post notification bell so you are notified every time I upload a new YouTube video. And with that said, let's just jump straight in. Okay, so I'm going to be doing these in kind of no particular order. However, yeah, no particular order. I will say the genre and I will kind of describe what the book is about, although I'm pretty much as clueless as you are. But if you have read these, please let me know your spoiler-free reviews down in the comments below, or even send me a message over on my Instagram because I would love to know. And yeah, so let's jump straight in. So I'm gonna start off with the classics that I've bought recently. So I've been really into collecting classics, and I've just wanted to sort of expand my collection a little bit, and so I've kind of gone on a little tangent. So let's begin with those. First one is George Orwell's 1984. Now, I read Animal Farm in school, and to me that was actually one of the best books I've ever read. I was never a big reader in school, so for me to really enjoy a book at that time was quite a milestone. And so, as I said, I've been really into collecting classics, and Animal Farm has kind of lived rent-free in my head for the last, how long ago was it, like 4 or 5 years ago maybe. And I have wanted to kind of read more of George Orwell's work, and he's actually local to Suffolk, or was local to Suffolk, which is really cool because that's where I'm from. And so George Orwell's a very big person over here, and so I just wanted to kind of read more about his work, and so I picked up 1984. So it's about a character called Winston Smith, and he works for the Ministry of Truth in London. Big Brother stares out from every poster. The thought police uncover every act of betrayal. When Winston finds love with Julia, he discovers that life does not have to be dull and deadening, and awakes to new possibilities. Despite the police helicopters that hover and circle overhead, Winston and Julia begin to question the party. They are drawn towards conspiracy. Yet Big Brother will not tolerate dissent, even in the mind. For those with original thoughts, they invented Room 101. The reason I picked this book up is because I study business management at university, and we had this, in my first module, we had this clip that we watched of Charlie Chaplin, and it was him working in a factory, and Big Brother was always watching, and it actually referred to 1984, and so from then on I really wanted to read it and see what it was all about. So I think this is going to be one of my reads of next year, one of my first reads of next year. I'm not really in the headspace for classics at the moment. I know you need kind of like almost a different brain for classics, but I'm really looking forward to reading this. I've heard so many people have enjoyed this book, not necessarily enjoyed it in the sense that it was a very like positive piece of work, but it was very inspiring and very kind of poignant. So I'm really excited to read this and see what it is all about. Next up is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and I have seen so many people talk about this book. So it's classified as a modern classic. Apparently it was Rebecca that actually made her kind of like begin her literary kind of journey, but this is meant to be a kind of like romance, a little bit like Little Women, I think. So it says, on a trip to the south of France, the shy heroine of Rebecca falls in love with Maxime de Winter, a wealthy, handsome widower. But as they arrive at Manderley, his Cornish mansion, a change comes over Max and the young bride is filled with dread. Friendless in the isolated house, she realises that she barely knows the man she has married, and in every corner of every room is the phantom of his beautiful first wife, Rebecca. I feel like this could be a really good book, but I think my goal for 2023, that's so bizarre to say, will be to read more classics and really get into them. So I've started my little collection, and I also love the covers of these, and so I also would like to get Jamaica Inn. Apparently that's meant to be very good, and also the Frenchman's Creek. They're on the back of the book as well. I think I picked this one up from Amazon, so definitely go check it out, but there's multiple covers of this and I just really like this one. Next up is kind of like all the Penguin classics. So I like to collect the Penguin classics. I have Little Women in these covers, and then I picked up 3 more, and these were actually from TK Maxx, so they were a little bit cheaper than the real retail price. So the first one I picked up was Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Come on guys, this is a classic. I love Alice in Wonderland, I always have, and so it's really nice to be able to actually read it. I've always seen like the films and stuff, and so being able to read it is just going to be really nice. And I just love the little like illustrations in this book. I just think they're so sweet. I love Lewis Carroll. I think he was an excellent writer, and so I'm really excited to read this, and plus it's just an adorable little cover. Next up is Animal Farm. As you guys know, I love it. I read it in school, however it was just paper at that time. I never had a physical copy of the book, so it's finally nice to sort of own my own copy, which I'm very excited about. And as I said, I loved Animal Farm. It's one of those books that has just stuck with me till today, and it's just an incredibly powerful novel. So it's the fable of a revolution that goes wrong, and it's the satire on the corrupting influence of power. And yeah, I also really like the cover for this one. Next up is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Once again, this was a novel that my school read, however I never got to read it, and I've heard so many people talk about this. Even in drama this was a huge thing, because I studied drama at GCSE and A-level, and this was a text that you could actually perform alongside Blood Brothers, I think it was at the time, and never read it. And so when I saw it I was like, great, I'm gonna pick it up, because I wanted to read this for a really long time. So got my hands on that, and then I also picked up The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Now this was my dad's favourite when he was growing up, and so that kind of made me want to get it even more, especially The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. That was the kind of, that's kind of intertwined with this, so I'm really excited for this. And this was £2.99 instead of £7.99, so that's great. So as for classics, that is it. The rest is kind of like contemporary fiction. So we're gonna go in. I feel like the first section is gonna be like murder mystery. As we all know, this is my favorite genre, so I will constantly buy murder mystery books. First up we have This Might Hurt by Stephanie Roble, and this is, can't actually remember what this is about. So 6 months ago, Natalie's sister Kit went to Wisewood, a retreat on a secluded Maine island. Today, Natalie receives a message. Would you like to come tell your sister what you did, or should we? Natalie has no choice. Head to Wisewood. Rescue her younger sister. Confess the secret she's been keeping. Stop everything unravelling. But there's one thing she hasn't considered. While getting on the island is difficult, getting off might be impossible. So this is obviously a very like spooky kind of thriller-esque book. I love these types of books. I love reading books that are gonna have me on the edge of my seat. I will not read a book if it does not grasp me within the first 5 seconds. I also really like this one. I picked this one up in Asda, and it's the breast cancer awareness edition, which I think is really nice. So it's got like the sprayed pink edges, which I just think makes it really pretty. So I got that, which I'm actually very excited about. Next up is this one. I'm really excited about this. At the beginning of the year, I read The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley, and I really enjoyed that. And so I've seen a lot of people talk about The Guest List and also The Hunting Party, which I want to get my hands on. So this one is each has a secret, each has a motive. Off the windswept Irish coast, guests gather for the wedding of the year. Old friends, past grudges, happy families, hidden jealousies. 13 guests, one body. One guest won't leave this wedding alive. So it's very like Agatha Christie vibes, and I'm just so excited for this. If you guys didn't know, Agatha Christie is actually my favourite author of all time. I love that woman with my whole heart, and I will read every single one of her novels because they are just incredible. And so when there's like a modern version of Agatha Christie, please let me read it because it sounds incredible. But I'm really excited to read this. This has been hugely popular over on TikTok and Instagram, and so I'm very excited for this. This might actually be my next read because it sounds so good. Next up we have We Were Never Here. This is actually one of Reese Witherspoon's book club picks. Now, I love Reese Witherspoon. I follow her book club, and so any book that her book club reads, I have to pick up. And makes me very excited. So this one is about 2 best friends, one dream holiday, and the perfect murder. And Reese Witherspoon said that it's every suspense lover's dream. So Emily is on holiday with her best friend Kristen in the stunning mountains of Chile. They're having the time of their lives until on the last night of the trip, Emily enters their hotel suite to find it covered in blood. Kristen claims a backpacker attacked her. She shouted but no one heard. She struggled but he was too strong. She had no option but to kill him, and with no evidence of the assault, Emily must help her hide the body. Back home, Emily tries to forget what happened, but a surprise visit from Kristen forces her to confront the events of that night. When with them both guilty and bearing the truth, Emily must ask herself, can she really trust her closest friend? So another incredible suspense, tension, thrilling ride with this book, I feel like. And BP Walter actually also read this book. I recently read The Woman on the Pier by him. I didn't love it, but apparently he's written another book that's meant to be, I think it's called like The Dinner Guest or something, and that's meant to be exceptional. Put it this way, I'm a huge murder mystery geek, and I know exactly what I want in a murder mystery book, and so if it doesn't have it, it will not entice me. The Woman on the Pier was more like the murder had already happened, and it was like the mother trying to find out what happened and who, and it was really quite backwards. But anyway, beside the point, really excited to read that. Next up is The Therapist by B.A. Paris. Now, I'm trying to remember why I bought this book and who I saw recommended it. Could have been on TikTok actually that I saw it. Says, when Alice and Leo move into a newly renovated house in the Circle, an exclusive gated community is everything they've dreamed of, but appearances can be deceptive. As Alice is getting to know her neighbours, she discovers a devastating secret about her new home and begins to feel a strong connection with the therapist who lived there before. Alice becomes obsessed with trying to piece together what happened, but no one wants to talk about it and her neighbours are hiding something. I know what it is about like therapists and stuff, but they don't click in my head for some reason, and I'm not keen on them. Next up, we have The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. Now, I was recommended this by Hayley Pham. I think I've mentioned her before. She's one of my favourite booktubers, and I will call her a booktuber now because her second channel is now like dedicated to books, and I love her channel so much. And she read this, and apparently she wasn't very into murder mysteries or thrillers, and she read this and she absolutely loved it. So I'm really excited to read this, and the coolest part about this is the spine has like little like bubbles and stuff, and I just think that's really cool. So I'm really excited to read this and just see what it's all about. The last murder mystery books are a series that I read over the summer holidays, and I fell in love with these books. When I tell you I fell in love, I will be rereading them because they were just exceptional, and they reminded me of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I've also mentioned before 100%. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder was my favourite series until I read this one, and now it's my favourite, and then it's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. But I freaking love this series. Like, I cannot express my emotions to you enough for this series. If you have not read them, you will need to read them. There is the Truly Devious series by Maureen Johnson, and I discovered these, do you know what, I can't remember who I got the recommendation from for these books, but oh my god, am I glad that I stumbled across them, because they are just exceptional. I love them, I love them, I love them. So to put it into context, this is the trilogy. This follows Stevie Bell, who is coming to the Ellingham Academy. Ellingham is the founder of this academy, and this academy is based in Vermont, in the mountains in America, and it's this academy for exceptionally talented students, a little bit quirky and exceptionally talented. And so Stevie Bell comes here to find out what happened to the Ellingham family. I won't go into too much detail because if I tell you too much then it will literally spoil the whole thing. And so the trilogy follows her finding out what happens. So you have Truly Devious, then you have The Vanishing Stare, and then you have The Hound on the Wall, and then you have the standalone book, but this still follows the same characters, except this is the summer holidays and they're all at a camp together called The Box in the Woods, and Stevie is trying to find out what happened to the, what's called like the box murders. And as you can see, I went very annotation happy on this because I just loved it. There was just some really funny references in here, and I have to say I definitely preferred the trilogy over the standalone, but overall I absolutely love this series. Maureen is a exceptional writer. It's definitely YA. I'd say it's YA. But it's just so great. It'll make you laugh. It feels like sometimes it will make you cry. It will have you on the edge of your seat, and it's just incredible, and I cannot rave and rant about this book series enough. Like, you haven't finished hearing about this from me because I freaking love this series. I read this series all in one go. That never happens with a series, and this is a series that I've actually read the entire series. And she's bringing out a new book, I think it'll be this month actually, called 9 Lies or 9 Liars or something like that. I can't remember, but it still follows Stevie, so I'm very excited. I'm gonna do the hardbacks. First one is Carrie Soto's Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Obviously I was gonna buy this. When it came out I was just obsessed. I read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo at the beginning of the year, and I freaking fell in love with it. And this is actually a Waterstones exclusive edition, so it's like a purple one. And it's got the little tennis court and stuff inside it, and I really like it. I think this book is about a tennis player, something like that, so I'm not 100% sure what it's about, but apparently it's meant to be fairly good. I've had kind of mixed reviews about this. I think because people have had such high expectations for the Seven Husbands and like Malibu Rising and Daisy Jones and all those other ones, that I feel like Taylor really had like competition to write a book just as good as them, sorry. So I feel like I can wait to read that one. I am so excited for this next book. At the minute it came out, I wanted to get it, but I was really stingy. I don't want to pay the full price for it. This is Babel, however you like to pronounce it, by R.F. Kuang. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at pronouncing authors' names. But this book is set in Oxford, and basically Oxford holds a very kind of special place in my heart, just because my parents kind of used to spend a lot of time there, and so they absolutely loved Oxford. And when I found out this was in Oxford, I was like invested straight away. But it's sort of like dark academia, and I'm really getting into my dark academia, so I'm really excited to read this. But I feel like I'm gonna read it around Christmas or the new year, and kickstart the year with a good book. And the cover's just gorgeous, is it not? Next up, it picks up better than the movies. Once again, this was after Hayley Pham's suggestion, and this is written by Lynn Painter, and apparently this is a really fun romance book. Yeah, it's just a really sweet little romance book apparently, and I'm really excited to read this. I've never read any of her work before, so I'm really excited to read this. And apparently Hayley really enjoyed this. She rated it like 5 stars or something, so any book that she recommends I will buy, because I trust her. Next up is The Lovely War by Julie Berry. I picked this up after a TikToker's recommendation. She has the most incredible TikToks, and she's so invested in books, and I love it. I will tag her on screen. And she said this was a beautiful book. And it's like World War II mixed with Greek mythology, which I was just like, okay, why not? And I love the size of this book. It's bigger than my head, and that's actually saying something because I have quite a big head, but I'm really quite excited to read this, and the cover looks really gorgeous as well. And yeah, I've just seen lots of people talk about this, so I picked it up and I'm really excited to read it. Next up, we have The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Now, I've heard so many people talk about this. Apparently it's a modern classic, and this is kind of like dark academia as well, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. I've heard lots and lots about this, so yeah, I'm really excited to get into that and see what that's all about. Next up is The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Bully. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'm actually so excited for this book because I can't remember who I got the suggestion off of, but this is about 18-year-old Dawness has always felt like an outsider with her mixed heritage, both in her hometown on the nearby Ojibwe reservation. I'm really sorry if I absolutely butcher these pronunciations. When she witnesses a murder, Dawness reluctantly agrees to go undercover, but secretly she pursues her own investigation, tracking down the culprits with her knowledge of traditional medicine. As the bodies pile up, Dawness finds herself caught in a web of deceit that threatens the people she loves the most. It's obviously got a mixed heritage with kind of murder mystery, which I'm actually very excited about, because I feel like this could be a really interesting book, and I also freaking love this cover. Then I picked up Hollow City in the Miss Peregrine's series. I read the first one a couple of years ago now, and I didn't particularly enjoy it. However, I really want to collect the series because I loved the film, but I'm gonna reread it and see if I can get on with it. And then I just bought the second one. I basically had money to spend in Waterstones. I had like all my points added up to £10, and so I could buy a book, and I really didn't know what book I wanted to buy. There was like nothing that kind of fell onto me, and then I saw that they had the second book in the series, and I was like, I have been after it for quite a while, so I feel like I could, you know, I don't feel guilty because it's not necessarily my money, which is fab. So I picked this up and I'm really excited to read this. The last two books are very special to me. Now, as you guys know, Agatha Christie is my all-time favourite author, and so I have been wanting to collect the special editions of her books, and I walked into Waterstones one time and I saw one of them, and then I recently went into, which you would have seen on my Instagram if you follow me on there, I went into a gorgeous little individual bookshop called Dial Lane Books, and he actually had another copy of my all-time favourite book in the entire world in the special edition cover, and so I'm really excited, and so I thought I would show you. So in Waterstones I picked up the Midsummer Mysteries. I'm not sure who the detective is here, but it was just the most gorgeous cover ever. I absolutely loved it. And then this one, which I actually holds probably the most special place in my heart, because this book is my absolute everything and I love it so much, and that is Murder on the Orient Express. This is my favourite book ever. I love it, and the cover is just absolutely stunning, and there's some really gorgeous like illustrations in like part one and all that sort of stuff. So I'm so excited to reread this, but with the special edition, and so I got these two and they just sit so beautifully on my shelf, and I feel like a very lucky girl by having these. So that is my book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, if you have any questions about any of the books and where I got them from, I mainly get my books from Waterstones, The Works, Amazon, or like individual bookshops that I find along the way, and they're kind of the places that I sort of go to. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to click the thumbs up button and also subscribe down below so you never miss an upload. And also tell me what book out of this haul have you read, and what one was your favourite, or ones that you are looking forward to reading, what's on your TBR, etc, etc. I'd love to have a little chat. And don't forget to follow me over on my Instagram, which is _bookswithluce. And with that said, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!